Genocide. It's a very serious topic. Well, people may ask, how am I qualified to speak about genocide? Little bit of my backstory. My mother and father divorced when I was about a year and a half old. My mom started dating a man several years later who was a Holocaust survivor. His parents were killed in Auschwitz. He spent years in the camp. Well, they wound up getting married and he wound up adopting me. But the man suffered from Stockholm Syndrome and was more than willing to share his stories with a young child. I started hearing the stories of the camps when I was 10 years old. I remember I went to a Jewish camp for the summer. It was for 2 weeks, Camp Shy. And when I came back, we went out to eat. He liked to go out to eat a lot. When my mother went to the washroom, he said, "Oh, you had fun at camp? I went to camp too." And I looked at him and I said, "What?" He went to concentration camp where they tortured me. The stories of genocide, of what went on, sickened me, freaked me out, made me feel horrible, like the futility of life. I hear what's going on by the Israelis, and I see that it's no different than the stories that I was told when I was a child. It makes me sick to ever think that at one time I was Jewish before I changed my religion. I could not be a part of a religion where they actually acted like Nazis. You heard about the Flower Massacre, where they starved the Palestinians, and then when the first truck filled with flour and food came in, they opened up on the Palestinians with machine guns and mowed them down like dogs. Kind of reminds me of what happened, the stories that I had heard when the Allies were going to liberate some of the death camps, and the Nazis took machine guns and put food out for the prisoners. And when the prisoners went to get it, they mowed them down because they didn't want witnesses. I see what's going on in Gaza. It's on the news. It's all over. They're being massacred. And our president in the United States, President Trump, wants them removed from their lands. How is that any different than what the Germans did to the Jews, seizing businesses? Are we or are the Israelis going to pay them reparations like the Germans did after World War II? Yes, the Germans paid reparations to any of the Holocaust survivors that were in the camps. There was a once-a-year check-in where you checked in, make sure you're still alive, and you continued to get payments till the day you died. Are the Israelis going to compensate them? Is the United States, is the Trump organization going to compensate them when they build luxury hotels and profit? This president, if you can call him that, is nothing but a dictator. He's suspending the Constitution. He's acting like a true tyrant. Well, this may be the death of the United States as we know it. They say all empires only last about 250 years, and we're coming close to our 250-year anniversary. Well, I guess the United States is no better than any other fallen empire. You can see what's happening already. Europe is changing. They're forming a stronger EU. The role that the United States played after World War II is getting less and less. His slogan was, "Make America Great Again." But great for who? The millionaires, the billionaires? In my early days, I was part of the Chicago punk rock movement. There was another movement called the Romantic Violent Neo-Nazi Movement. They were going to cause trouble at a show at Wellington Church. A very famous church. Sam Kinison came from there. But they were known in Old Town, New Town as being progressive and having, live entertainments, comedies, all sorts of things. It helped pay the bills. Well, when the Nazis came there, they were met by 150 people, organized punks, and we beat the shit out of them. Nazi punks, fuck off, was the slogan. Well, today, the new punks, a girl band on top of it, Cheap Perfume, put out a song, "It's Okay to Beat Nazis." Well, I'm glad to see that at least some of the youth is fighting for the values that we fought for. All I can say is, thank God. America is supposed to be the land of the free, not the land of the oligarch, not the land of the fascist. And Israel has turned fascist. Now, according to Jewish lore, we'll call it lore, anytime the people fall away from God, they lose the right to the land. So, if Israel falls, is it just? I'm asking a question based on their own lore, based on their own traditions. Now, it's a shame. There are not a little, but a lot of Israelis that don't agree with what Netanyahu is doing. Unfortunately, there are a lot that do agree. And it's always the shit that spoils it for all. So, if the world turns away from Israel because of what it's doing to the Palestinians, if Gaza is turned into the Riviera of the Middle East and Trump gets a hotel or several hotels there, did he break the Emoluments Clause? Was genocide committed? Was the theft of land manifest destiny? That's a concept that hasn't been heard in years. But what the hell is really going on? When will it end? Are we really going to destroy ourselves as a species? Do we have the right to exist as we destroy the earth, pollute it? And here's another question for all of you Christian religious people. In Revelations, it talks about how the Antichrist will say he's the Messiah. Only he can save it. Only he can fix everything. Is Trump the Antichrist? Is genocide what he wants? I don't know. Just food for thought.